Ladies and gentlemen, we did it! We did it! Dark Magic, Black Magic hoops have once and finally, maybe not finally, but it's been defeated! Yes! Yes! Listen, this is coming after the Minnesota Timberwolves beating the Denver Nuggets at home in Game 7, 98-90. Only holding the Denver Nuggets to 90 points is crazy. The Denver Nuggets came into this game with the momentum not on their side, primarily because of a crazy blowout win in Game 6. However, a lot of people, including myself, thought, this is the more experienced team. They are the defending champions. They are a great home team. And, I will give them the benefit of the doubt. I do have the Denver Nuggets moving forward and winning this series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And for a majority of this game, that is what it looked like. That is what it looked like. At the beginning of the third quarter, the biggest point that the Denver Nuggets had was a 20-point lead. And if you're looking at a majority of this game, as you can see, a big majority of this game for all of the second quarter, all of the third quarter, parts of the first, the Denver Nuggets had the lead. But in the fourth quarter, and honestly in the beginning, halfway through the third quarter, things and the momentum started to shift. The Denver Nuggets went on 5-minute runs of just not scoring the basketball. If we look at, the box score here, the role players were just not role playing. You know what I'm saying? We have always given Denver the credit for being a very well-rounded team. And I feel like a pretty big portion of the series, it felt like a two-man team with a bunch of role players underperforming. Jamal Murray, although he had 35 in this game, hasn't been extremely consistent throughout the series. Michael Porter Jr. in this game was 3 of 12. KCP was 2 of 7. Aaron Gordon wasn't as impactful as he usually is. Only ended up with, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 fouls. You know what I'm saying? A guy like Christian Braun, 1 of 3 from the field. Reggie Jackson wasn't able to give you minutes. So the Denver Nuggets ended their season effectively using a 6-man rotation, and that bench was just not benching. Christian Braun is not Bruce Brown. I'm sorry to tell you, Reggie Jackson is not Bruce Brown. And I will say Denver has proven me wrong throughout this whole season in terms of how much Bruce Brown was going to affect things. But I did say going into the season, the reason why I wasn't as high on Denver as last season was because I feel like they were going to miss some of the role players that they had last year, the Jeff Greens of the world. Like I just mentioned prior, the Bruce Browns of the world. These are guys that they were going to miss, push came to shove, and now we're sitting here, and the Denver Nuggets are just relying a little bit too much on Christian Braun to step up. Peyton Watson didn't get any minutes. DJ didn't get any minutes. All these other dudes on the bench didn't get any minutes. And when they did, they just didn't provide enough. You know what I'm saying? But to me, all credit goes to Minnesota, dog. I can't lie. I understand Jamal Murray wasn't 100,000% in this series, but I feel like this is one of those series that, hey, man, I know we like to smoke packs, and the video today is about smoking the Denver Nuggets pack. I understand we like to, point fingers, play the blame game, but this is a series between two teams that going into it, in my opinion, were fully healthy, were ready for battle, and I think at the end of the day, one team just outplayed the other. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about the incompleteness of one team compared to the other, but Denver, for a lot of y'all, including myself, was the best team in the NBA playoffs. This is a team that had the talent to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, so it wasn't a talent deficiency thing, even though I just mentioned their bench. They weren't talent deficient. They had the experience, they had a really good coach, And they just got outplayed. It's as simple as that. Sometimes, you don't got to panic. I truly, I think a lot of the playoffs we have been talking about, this team has to blow it up. Denver, especially Denver, is not one of those teams that need to blow it up. Do they need to make some changes? Absolutely. I do think they really need to bolster that bench. But I think there's no reason to blow up the core that they got. And in this parity-ass league that we got, sometimes you just lose. And you got a working formula. It just didn't work this year, clearly. But yeah, the Minnesota Timberwolves, that defense. This Minnesota Timberwolves team reminds me of the 22 Boston Celtics. A team being led by a young superstar, being with a coach and a team built off a defensive identity. You know what I'm saying? Going through the gauntlet, having to prove themselves in the playoffs. And then they're looking like they can actually win the championship 1 or 2 rounds in, and that they actually aren't, a joke. You know what I'm saying? A team that I personally feel like a lot of people have been doubting the years prior coming into this season, including myself. But I've been able to quickly turn around because of a fantastic front office that was just able to place pieces in their proper roles. Place pieces in roles where they weren't being asked to do much. You know what I'm saying? I think the reason why Rudy Gobert is so effective is because of the fact that Rudy Gobert doesn't have to anchor and guard all 5 positions. The POA defense on this team is fantastic. This isn't like the Utah Jazz against the Clippers where, bro, I understand Rudy Gobert was being cooked out there in the perimeter, but it's like Rudy Gobert shouldn't be asked to defend the perimeter. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case over here. Karl Anthony Towns, a guy that I think has proven, and even in this series has proven, he cannot be the number 1 on a championship playoff team. But when you put him on a team where Anthony Edwards is the clear head of the helm, when you put him on a team where you got other offensive pieces like a Naz Reid, like a Jaden McDaniels proven this series that he can also step up in that regard. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Mike Conley, all of these dudes. Would you ask Karl Anthony Towns to be a 2? Karl Anthony Towns is a really good 2. I don't know what to tell you, and I think he proved that this series. So all props to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm excited for this Western Conference Finals. I'm excited for the conference finals to start up tomorrow. Some great basketball is about to be played, especially in the Western Conference, but also in the Eastern Conference. I can't lie. Indy versus Boston should be fun hoops. 2 high-powered offenses going at it. That should be fun basketball. But today, after just my quick analysis of the game last night, I want to talk about why everyone hates Denver. That's what I want to talk about today. Because while I was on the timeline cheering with y'all, mind you, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? I've been smoking packs this morning too. I've been smoking packs last night as well. I'm really out here though, really trying to think to myself, why does everyone hate the Denver Nuggets and why does everyone hate Nikola Jokic? Because this is a team, this is a franchise that drafted their core, right? Right? They drafted MPJ. They drafted Jamal Murray. They drafted Nikola Jokic. They traded for a guy like Aaron Gordon. They traded for a guy like KCP, but we understand those are just regular ass trades. You know what I'm saying? To address problems that they got, to improve the team. That's not like the Denver Nuggets going out there and trying to get LeBron James. This is also a small market team. You know, this is a team that built the right way. This is a team that built the right way. This is a team that stuck with their coach. I also think they play the right way. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they play gimmicky basketball. So it had me asking, while I was celebrating as well, why is everyone celebrating the Denver Nuggets downfall? And I think it really dawned to me that the reason why, and I asked this on the timeline as well, so I'll read those responses as well. is that I feel like a lot of people just have a problem with what Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets represent for the league. And I think it ultimately comes down to that. Because I'm going to keep it a stack. There really isn't much to hate about this team. I'm going to keep it a stack. I think what Nikola Jokic stands for is advanced analytics basketball working and thriving in the league to the tune that the best player in the world is considered to be an advanced analytics darling to some people, to a decent amount of people. When you think of advanced analytics, you think of Nikola Jokic. You know what I'm saying? I think what Nikola Jokic also stands for is European basketball and overseas basketball taking over the league to the tune of 3 MVPs in 4 years, arguably 4. And to the tune of a championship, and to the tune of damn near forming a dynasty. Listen, y'all not about to gaslight me into not forgetting or forgetting about when we were talking about, who is stopping this Denver Nuggets team? And a lot of people didn't have answers. There's a 64-win team out in the Eastern Conference. And motherfuckers are like, yeah, they're cool, but the Denver Nuggets are so fucking good that who cares? The Denver Nuggets are just that good. Same thing in the Western Conference. Even though the Western Conference is so stacked going into this playoffs, not a lot of people had any team beating the Denver Nuggets. And it's just funny because I saw Nick Young's tweet yesterday. Let me bring up his tweet. This is what Nick Young had to say on the timeline. The Americans are back, baby. The NBA is back about being an American league. And I'm just like, first of all, the European impact in the conference finals is still there. First of all, Luka. Second of all, Rudy Gobert, DPOY, Rudy Gobert and his Timberwolves that has, made their marker on being a crazy defense, being led by Rudy Gobert. And then in the Eastern Conference, the Boston Celtics have Kristaps Porzingis, and then the Indiana Pacers, they have Pascal Siakam. So they're still overseas impact to a crazy degree in these conference finals. But two, and this is what I've been saying about Anthony Edwards, I personally don't care about if the face of the league is American or not. I can find the appeal in non-American people. I can find the appeal in their personalities. But in a league that's based in America, where the teams are from the states of the United States of America, a lot of people were waiting. A lot of people were ready to pounce. A lot of people were hating from the back, and they just couldn't say much because that motherfucker is so good. But now that Nikola Jokic has been taken down, it's up and it's stuck. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are celebrating. And I find it, honestly, I'm going to keep it a stack. I find it weird that a lot of these tweets are coming out. Even, last round versus the Phoenix Suns, when the Minnesota Timberwolves swept the Phoenix Suns, I was seeing a couple of TikToks from motherfuckers talking about, man, fuck these Europeans. I want that motherfucker from Atlanta. Like, all right. Okay. So long story short, I do think that is a big factor as to why people are celebrating Denver's downfall. Is the fact that they are one of, if not the biggest marker as to European basketball taking over the league to the degree that it has. So you got advanced analytics dudes, because the counter push against advanced analytics has been really big as well. Xenophobia and bigotry dudes. I'm gonna just keep it a stack. And also, I don't even disagree with this one. I think people have a problem with the fact that Nikola Jokic is viewed as the best player in the league, and he doesn't care about the sport. Or that's what it seems like from the outside looking in. When you got a dude that's one of the last 3 of the last 4 MVPs, making it seem like getting the MVP is just another day at work, compared to, I remember when KD got it. You know what I'm saying? His speech about his mom and all of that. You know what I'm saying? When he was crying on the podium. I remember when Steph Curry got it. I remember when LeBron James got it. I remember, when all of these dudes, even James Harden, Russell Westbrook when he got his MVP, Giannis when he got his MVP, this care that they had for the MVP award. And you got this dude that just, it's just nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I truly do think a lot of people do not like that. From the outside, Jokic doesn't look like he cares about the game. And I think another factor of this as well is just, hey, man, Denver and Jokic has been busting a lot of our favorite players and teams' ass. If you look at the timeline and everyone that's been celebrating, a big portion of it, which is the biggest market in the league, are Laker fans. I would like to assume that the Los Angeles Lakers have the biggest fan base in the league. A lot of it is Warriors fans. And partially Celtics fans. Like really big market teams. And maybe even Miami Heat fans. I don't know how Miami Heat fans feel about Denver. They did face each other in the playoffs last season. But yeah, the Denver Nuggets have been busting a lot of y'all favorite teams' asses. From the Lakers' perspective, and just LeBron James fans in general, right? LeBron James fans might be the biggest fan base in the league if you combine both player fan bases and team fan bases. And the Denver Nuggets have been busting LeBron's ass for the last 2 years. They have been the direct reason as to why LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers haven't been able to advance in the playoffs. The Boston Celtics, I'm going to speak for my own. Listen, gang, shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves. But I'm going to tell you right now, my preferred matchup in the NBA Finals is literally everyone outside of Denver, dog. Like, shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And this is with all respect. I do think there's a chance that they can beat the Celtics, a really good chance that they can beat the Celtics. I have to put respect on Minnesota's name. But boy, Denver, whew, that was thank God we don't gotta guard Jokic type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Cause thank God someone did our job for us. Like type shit. You know what I'm saying? So Celtics fans are feeling that way. And then Golden State fans, there really isn't a direct line to hating for the Nuggets on that front. But this kind of leads me into my next point. I think that the reason why this pack is hitting so much, and I've seen a lot of tweets about this. You lied about They're trying to have a play on the Kendrick Lamar song. I think Nikola Jokic was on a trajectory that was making people way too uncomfortable. The conversations Nikola Jokic was about to enter after winning back-to-back championships in the parity era, in the most talented era in the league era, performing the way he's performing, getting the MVPs the way he's been getting them on, I think people, and going back to Golden State, specifically Steph Curry fans, were going to have to face very, very uncomfortable conversations if if Nikola Jokic got his second ring on a back-to-back. I think there's also that factor. Another factor of it as well is just Mike Malone is really cocky, y'all. Yo, Mike Malone is really, really cocky. And I was really thinking about it yesterday. And I couldn't think of another coach that has shit talked as much as Mike Malone has, specifically to one fan base, but just in general, has shit talked the way Mike Malone has over this last 365 days. I'm thinking about it. Was Nick Nurse like this? No. Was Frank Vogel like this? No. Was Budenholzer like this? No. Was Steve Kerr like this? No. Like, was Greg Popovich like this? Phil Jackson? No. And I get it. I'm going to be honest with you. I like it from Mike Malone because the same thing with the Jada McDaniels dunk at the end of the game and Anthony Edwards talking shit to the crowd. I truly think even though it's toxic, even though it isn't sportsmanlike, if I'm gonna keep it a stack, we need more of that in the league. We need more rivalries. And I understand, I shouldn't be promoting hate into this world, but from an entertainment standpoint, it does make it more entertainment when there is hate in this world. I'm gonna just keep it a stack, But yeah, Mike Malone was acting and talking crazy after beating the Lakers last season. And probably is the cockiest coach I've ever seen. I'm gonna keep it a stack and giving I don't know if it started before or after them winning the championship, specifically beating the Lakers, but all I know is Mike Malone was talking a lot of shit. And I feel like yesterday was a humble yourself type of moment for Mike Malone, especially in the press conference when Mike Malone don't look too happy. Mike Malone, and rightfully so. His team just lost, but Mike Malone just looked like a grumpy man. Like, listen to this, y'all.
How hard is it just to absorb a loss like this after?
Mind you can literally hear Minnesota celebrating in the background, y'all. Like, that's crazy. But
after going ahead by 20.
Next question, man. The season's over. That's what's hard. Fuck being up 20. The season's over. You don't understand that. The season's over. It's hard. Stupid ass questions.
How hard is it?
So yeah, Mike Malone not too happy after a Game 7 loss, and again, rightfully so. But I'm just talking about all the reasons why everyone's smoking this pack, because I truly do feel like, it isn't just one thing. Another thing as well is I think people really do love the state of the league right now in terms of parity, in terms of embracing the future generation of the league, with Tyrese going to the conference finals, with Luka going to the conference finals, with potentially even SGA going to a conference finals, Anthony Edwards going to a conference finals, and Jason Tatum going to another conference finals. Like there was this feeling of, yo, let's embrace the next gen. It's time for the next generation. And I think, the Denver Nuggets moving forward and the Denver Nuggets winning even more would have been, it would have spoiled that feeling of parity. It would have spoiled that feeling of, okay, we're moving on from this past generation. Because maybe it's just me. I understand Jokic is still not old. I understand Jokic still got a lot of years left in his career. But I kind of attribute Jokic to the Giannis Embiid, the Giannis Embiid era of things, as opposed to the next generation of the Lukas, the SGAs, you know what I'm saying? The Anthony Edwards generation. Like, I do think there's a generation gap between those. And, just that feeling of, damn, we're at a state where there's supposed to be parity. And then there's this team that just wants to roll over everyone, like, goddamn. So, yeah, just a lot of factors that go into why everyone hates Denver so much. Let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what y'all think, because it is interesting to me. Also, I forgot to mention this as well. Last thing. Hey, man. It's just haters being haters. I can't lie. I said this on my stream. It's on a short, I think, on the channel. Bro, you ever seen someone just do well, too good in life? Like, they're not really doing anything wrong. They're just doing too good in life. Every time you see them, they're all happy and jolly. And now you just got to be the Joker and just, no pun intended, all pun intended, actually, and just hate just cause. Like, damn, why you so happy? Damn, why can't this be my life? Type shit. Like, I think that's also a big part of it. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves. My next video will probably be conference finals predictions. But with that being said, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Peace.